You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
White House goes ballistic on embarrassing a mess now report, based on an article by Adam Lynch. The plane was the story, the cover-up was the point. The real power is still in the White House. The reporting here is simple enough. Trump reportedly ditched the $400 million Qatari jet for the old Air Force One on a trip from the NATO summit in Turkey to the UK, apparently because the gifted plane lacked the defensive systems needed for safe travel amid Iran hostilities. That is the factual center. Everything else is noise. What matters politically is who had the authority to make the decision and who benefits from obscuring it. Trump is the president. The plane is the presidency's problem. The security risk is not a press room abstraction. It is a consequence of the administration's own choices and its willingness to dress indulgence up as governments. Cheung didn't refute anything. Stephen Cheung's response is the usual weak man performance that authoritarian politics relies on. Deny, insult, repeat, and hope volume substitutes for evidence. He called Carol Leonnig a liar, called the reporting fake news, and called her not a real journalist. What he did not do was dispute the substance of the reporting in any serious way. That omission is the story inside the story. If the White House had a real factual defense, it could have offered one. Instead, it threw an insult grenade and left the actual claim standing untouched. That is not rebuttal. It is damage control for a bad fact pattern. The misdirection is the operation. This is how power protects itself, by moving the argument away from the decision and onto the messenger. The relevant question is not whether Leonnig was mean, popular, or properly praised on X. The relevant question is why a president would put himself on a plane that reportedly lacked the military defenses of the standard aircraft, then rely on staff to spin away the obvious contradiction. Cheung's attack tries to convert a security failure into a media feud. That is deliberate misdirection. It aims the public at personality conflict, because personality conflict is safer than institutional accountability. The administration wants a story about reporters, not about presidential judgment, procurement absurdity, or the private enrichment fantasies attached to a foreign gift. The gift was already the corruption. A $400 million Qatari jet is not just lavish. It is a political object built for dependency, spectacle, and embarrassment. The source notes that the plane lacked key military defenses, including mid-air refueling and missile defense systems. That alone should have ended the fantasy of treating it as a primary presidential aircraft. Instead, the administration apparently entertained the idea anyway. That is the pattern. Normalize the absurd, then attack anyone who describes it accurately. The scandal is not merely that the plane was insecure, it is that the presidency was willing to turn insecurity into a lifestyle accessory, and then expect the public to treat the whole episode as normal. X is not accountability. The chorus on X did what X always does: amplify the insult, flatten the facts, and reward whoever sounds most shameless. Some users mocked Cheung, others shrugged. That is not scrutiny, it is platform theater. Public attention gets dragged toward whether the insult landed or whether a reporter was sufficiently attributed. While the substantive issue recedes, a presidential security decision was made under conditions that appear obviously compromised. Social media is excellent at producing noise around power and terrible at imposing consequences on it. The pattern is deliberate carelessness. This story is not about a journalist striking a nerve. It is about an administration so habituated to impunity that it treats obvious vulnerability as something to be spun, not corrected. The lie is not only in the insult. The lie is in pretending that safety, competence, and accountability are optional if the optics can be managed fast enough. That is the larger political pattern. Elite corruption followed by performative outrage, then a scramble to punish the witness instead of answer the charge. The public is supposed to accept that as normal governance. It is not normal. It is institutional cowardice dressed up as strength. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article. With the automated voice of Clara, thanks for listening.